Alright, so I'm gonna redo a design I did for a student to kind of help them with their flyer. So first thing I want to do is I want to go to print, and I'm just gonna open a regular letter sheet of paper. Flyer just means that it's usually printed on 8.5 by 11 type sheet of paper, and it's either one-sided or two-sided, depending. Most of them are one-sided. The flyer that you guys are doing is for an actual event, but just flyer in general terms, just 8.5 by 11. So I'm gonna title this flyer, and I'm gonna change my units to inches. 8.5 by 11, it says right there. Orientation, I want it to be portrait. I don't need facing pages because it's only on one side. Facing pages would mean as you're closing the book, the two pages come together, so they're facing. Pages 1, primary and text frame. I don't need a text frame. Columns, I'm not going to set up a grid for this. Another margins, I'm going to leave that at, let's change this to 0.25, and I'm going to add a 0.125 inch bleed. If they're not moving together, just make sure you have this box checked. That means that'll allow them all to change, all the numbers to change at once. So you can click preview, but I'm pretty sure it's good. If you want to add a slug to it on the right hand side, you can add a slug. It's not necessary for this because this is a pretty basic thing, and most likely you're creating a flyer for either someone who's going to be printing it on a color printer, and they won't have any bleed, or you're sending to a printer where you'll get it cut to the right size. So we're going to click create, and we have our original size. So next thing I'm going to do, I already have the files that I want to use. I went on the internet, I just did a Google search. So I went to Google, and let's see here. I went to Google, and I typed in Fontainebleau, and Miami Beach. So Fontainebleau, Miami Beach. Then I clicked on images. So one thing that I like to do when I do my image searches, I click on tools, and I go to size and large. Most of the search engines have some kind of way to specify the sizes. I grabbed these two images right here, and I think I grabbed a third image right here. So to grab them, I just click on them, and then I say right click, save image as, and I save this to a folder, so I saved it in there, and I just do that for each of them. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my imagery. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to file and go down to place. You can hit that control or command D. So place, and you can select them all at once. So I'm going to click my first one, and then I'm going to hold down my command key or my control key, click on my second image, and then I'm going to click on my third image. I don't hold shift in this situation because shift would just do them in sequential order, but because there's some other things in this folder that I don't want to click on, I hold down my control or my command key, and that allows me to select them individually. So I'm going to click open. I could show import options, but I don't think I need it for this. So I'm going to click open, and if you look at my my image, there's a number 3 on it. That number 3 means that I have 3 images there. So I'm going to click on the first one, I'm going to drag it out. I probably want it to be about that big. Do the second one the same. This allows me to kind of get my sizes how I want them. And my third image, and now I know all my images are the same size, and I can start fooling around with my design. Next thing I need to do is get a logo. So I actually have my logo already. I just grabbed a logo from the Google search. So again, Fontainebleau, Miami Beach, and I think I just typed logo. There's logo, and I just went with this first one, Fontainebleau, Miami Beach, and it looks like it was going to be a PNG, but it's just a black and white image. So I'll save image as, and I just saved it to my folder again. So I'll minimize that. So now I'm going to grab my logo. This time I'm going to hit Control D to get it, or Command D. And I'm looking for my logo, layout, pool, there, 100. So I'll grab my logo, and I'm going to drag that out. So notice it has a white background. If I put a color behind it, you can see that it's on a white background. That's something that you want to be aware of, but it's not actually a big deal. I prefer it to be on a white background than on a color background. All right, so I got my logo, and now I also was thinking about some other things that I could use to decorate in this ad. So I did a Google search for patterns, I think. Let's see, ornate patterns or something like that. Ornate wallpaper. So I wanted something that had a little bit of texture to it. Might have changed this up. I can't remember exactly what search I did, but I found just some graphics that I liked. I think I clicked on one of these and it took me somewhere else. But I'll show you what I found. So I found a graphic. So Control D again, and I found this loopy pattern. And it doesn't have a lot of definition in it, but for this example, it'll work fine. It's because, if you really want to get something crisp and clean, you probably would have to pay for it. But for this, it's just a student project. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to make it rather small. I'm going to rotate it because I'm going to use it as it's just a decoration. All right, so these are my imagery. This is my imagery, and I'm gonna build my ad from this. I'm gonna add some text. So I'm gonna grab my text, create my text tool, drag a box out, and I'm just gonna fill this with placeholder type. So I went to my type tool at the top, fill with placeholder, and there's my text. So what I did with this is, as you can see, I've completed it. I used the colored boxes to kind of create some motion of how you should travel through this ad. So you start on the top right and then you work your way down. Maybe look at the images with the blue box behind it, and then it leads you into that bottom area with the font in blue, 1-800-FL-BLUE. I try to keep my margins consistent. Remember, even though I have a pretty symmetrical, well, not symmetrical, but a balanced layout, I still want to create some motion in it. The pattern, as you can see, is towards the bottom there. It's just something to kind of give it a little bit of extra intrigue. I did a lot of multiplying, so the colors multiply on each other. I actually did a gradient behind the pattern at the bottom, and then it multiplies on the left side, so it gives it a different color. And on the top, I did a gradient in the box behind the text, so that's a gradient. And I also did a gradient on the image in the background, so it's a directional gradient, so it fades to white towards the right hand side to kind of make sure that I could keep my text legible in that box. I did a mixed fonts at the top, so a script and then a sans serif and then a script again. And then that fountain blue logo, it's just been multiplied because remember it had a white background. So I just set the appearance to multiply so that white background disappears and you just see the text. And essentially that's it. So it was a pretty quick ad, but I think it was successful. And if you have any questions or if you want to know how I did anything in this ad, just email me and I can help you with it.